I'm Cynthia Hoven. Welcome to the fifth and final lesson of the Eurythmy module, Fire, Air, Water, and Earth in Eurythmy. Please visit eurythmyonline.com for more Eurythmy lessons and to participate by donating.
Good morning. Good morning, dear friends, and thank you for our welcome to our fifth and last lesson of the sequence on the four elements in Eurythmy: fire, air, water, and earth. It's been a rich journey, accompanied also by the Thursday night lectures, and I know that many of you have been part of that, which has taken us on a much deeper level. I'd like to begin today by speaking for you the Eurythmy meditation. Some of you have heard this before in our previous webinars, and this was a meditation to be done, to be thought, to be carried in the minds of the Eurythmy practitioner. And it helps us become conscious of how we stand in our bodies, in our whole self as Eurythmists. So take this into your heart as I say it. I seek within me creative forces working, creative powers living. The heavy weight of earth tells me through the word of my feet. The forming power of the air tells me through the singing of my hands, and the strength of heaven's light tells me through the thinking of my head how the great world in the human being speaks, sings, and thinks. And if you will, I'll do this once again in case you're not familiar with this verse yet. It helps to understand what the verse is going to acknowledge. We start by saying the earth speaks through my feet, the air speaks through my hands, and the heaven's light speaks through my head, and through my willing, my feeling, and my thinking, I am a human being. And as a Eurythmist, I become awake in all of these. So once again, and I'll move my hands a little bit this time. You don't need to imitate me. I seek within me creative forces working, creative powers living. A heavy weight of earth tells me through the word of my feet. The forming power of the air tells me through the singing of my hands, and the strength of heaven's light tells me through the thinking of my head how the great world in the human being speaks, sings, and thinks. Yes, and if you will humor me, I'll do it one more time. You see how I'm moving my hands, and I told you you don't need to do that. But when I stand, I try to stand quietly, and nonetheless, as a Eurythmist, I am trained to move my mind to these different centers. So when I say, I think I feel creative forces, my mental picturing, my heart opens to creative forces. And when I think of the heavy weight of earth, even though I don't point to them, I feel my feet and I grip the floor. When I talk about my hands, I feel the lightness around me. When I think about my head, I move here. So among all the other wonderful things that Eurythmy is, it's a practice in learning how we move our mind to be really awake in living concepts, overcoming the cast of doubt and lies and stuff, to really feel how our consciousness works in our reality. All right, one more time. I seek within me creative forces working, creative powers living. The heavy weight of earth tells me through the word of my feet, and the forming power of the air tells me through the singing of my hands, and the strength of heaven's light tells me through the thinking of my head how the great world in the human being speaks, sings, and thinks. Thank you. And now let's begin our Eurythmy practice. I invite you to take a nice stretch just to be sure that your body's ready for this light and fluid movement that we're going to do. And now become quiet. Remember, in our practice, as you stand here with me, use open gaze as you gaze at the Eurythmy at the computer screen. Look at me, but not with intense vision, because essentially you should be feeling your own body moving. And you watch me for instructions and accuracy, but not with laser vision. Make yourself quiet. Feel yourself within yourself. Fold your arms. We'll begin with I think speech, which we've been doing all the way through this session. Feel yourself in yourself. Unfold your arms to create the cross. Feel the cross. Move your right foot. Remember not to just copy me, but think your own right foot, and lift your arms to your larynx. Move your left foot just a little bit. Drop your hands to the height of your heart. Feel grounded. Move your right foot a nice big step. Hands and feet are equally wide. And now move your left foot just a little bit so it's where it was when you started. Move your hands to the top of your head. Very accurate forms. Now bring your right foot in and both hands together. Feel yourself. Two parallel lines, very contained energy. And release. And now we have words that go with this. The words aren't essential, but they help intensify the feeling. Open to the cross. I think speech. Little step with the right foot. Lift to your larynx. Activate your sense, your capacity for speech. I speak. And lower to your heart, left foot. I have spoken, the grounded star. The big X form, I seek myself in the spirit. And now, as if you're putting a limit across the height of your head, a line that connects your two arms, I seek myself in the spirit, and pull it together. I am on the path to the spirit, to myself, and release. One last time, absolutely clear geometry. As I said, this is so accurate. It orders the chaos in our souls. I think speech. I speak very clearly. I have spoken soberly, exactly. The joy of accuracy. I seek myself in the spirit. I feel myself within myself. I am on the path to the spirit, to myself, and rest. And if there are any of you who are young and joyful, We'll take that one last step, but this is not for the faint of heart. So if you're not young anymore, you might just want to watch. But Rudolf Steiner did, when he taught this for the first time, he asked the students to jump like this. I think to become adept at this instantaneous accuracy. One more time. And rest. Thank you. Yes, I seldom teach that in a class, and I certainly don't expect most of you to choose to do that. But if some of you want to give yourself another challenge, it is to do that with these light jumps and be accurate, and each time cleans up your power of thinking. All right. Our heart is connected to the stars, to the forces of creation. Open your arms wide. And remember, it's not just your arms, it's your entire soul and etheric body, as wide and big and open-hearted as you can. But don't look up. Feel, just like the sun doesn't have to look up when it shines, nor do you. You just feel this coming through your arms, but also down in all directions as a sphere. You're as big as the universe. And now bring all of that into yourself. Your aura is getting smaller. Feel it on all sides, also coming up to you through your legs. Hold the sun in your heart. And now spread it wide again, bit by bit. Illumine yourself, illumine your room, grow wide. And come in again. I don't want to go too slowly, or it becomes too cognitive or too personal, if you will. We want to find a beautiful breathing, gentle movement in and out. And you'll find that your physical breath doesn't actually align with this. The physical breath is actually working opposite to the normal breath in this movement. Don't worry about it. But some of you notice when you come in, you're actually exhaling, although you're bringing energy in. When you go out, you're actually inhaling, although you're sending energy out. Be that as it may, that's really not important. Within my heart shines the light of the sun. Within my soul, like the sun, throughout all parts of yourself, also around your hips and your feet, weaves the warmth of the world. I will breathe the light of the sun. I will feel the warmth of the world. Light of the sun pour into me, and warmth of the world flow through me. Breathe quietly, fully through yourself. Yeah, thank you. Now, some of you have already practiced with me how to use your arms like angel wings. And we'll do the contraction expansion again. And I want to be sure that you're not hiking up your shoulders when you do it, but that you're learning to do this as if your arms are angel wings. Try this movement. Move your scapula and not these shoulder muscles. Can you do that? All right, let's do the contraction expansion again. Bring your energy in. Don't speak the verse. Even if you're by yourself, don't speak it. Hear it inwardly. Create meaning with the silence of the voice. Within my heart shines the light of the sun. Within my soul weaves the warmth of the world. I will breathe. The light of the sun. I will feel the warmth of the world. Light of the sun pour into me, and warmth of the world flow through me. Thank you. And let's take just a moment to practice that one more time with walking forwards and backwards. And we're going to integrate into a threefold walking. And there might be a couple of you who've missed the earlier lessons on threefold walking. Remember, we always touch with the toes first when we walk in Eurythmy. If you've missed that, you can find that in previous lessons. It's essential to your Eurythmy practice. So keep working on it. So once again, open your arms and let's step forward as we bring our energy in. Step forward, tenderly touching with the toes first. Just a couple of steps. Now, before you go back, feel your back. We've practiced that extensively. Open your angel wings, open yourself. See with the back of your head where the wall is or your backspace. And now feel with the whole front of your body, your front space. Before you go back, switch your mind so that you are confident going back into the spirit world. Before you come forward, switch your mind so that you're coming into the sense world. Before you go back, feel your backspace. Here we go. Within my heart shines the light of the sun. Within my soul weaves the warmth of the world. I will breathe the light of the sun. I will feel the warmth of the world. Light of the sun pour into me, and warmth of the world flow. Feel as much as you can here. Flow through me. Good. Take a good breath. Thank you. All of these were your warm-up exercises. In your personal Eurythmy practice, you can take as long as you want to do these, or if you have these foundational elements already well established, maybe you just want to spend a couple of minutes on them. But in my lessons, of course, I take longer to repeat them again and again so that when you do practice them, you really know what you're doing. All right, in our journey in this module on the 4 elements, we took a deeper step to learn to modulate and change the way that we move our energy. We started with looking at how that is with the contraction expansion exercise. So we remember that we're looking at the movement from fire to air to water to earth. And fire, we look at a source energy close to spirit. Air is a little less spirit, a little more earth, but it's still freed from gravity and dispersive. Water, the next level, is responsive to gravity. So it's here, but it's still flowing. It's not stuck in forms like earth is. So when we speak of the four elements, we look at the process of condensation from pure spirit through these four stages into matter, or we reverse the process and look at the release of spirit from material into pure being, pure thought as fire. And so we can practice that experience of condensation through contraction and expansion. Lift your arms wide and imagine that you're on the edge of being, on the edge of spirit. And I'm trying to indicate to you, to show you how we can experience that as pure fire. We could do that with no movement or with greatest intensity of movement, but let's try trying to indicate this fire feeling with quivering on our periphery, as if you are flickering in flames beyond air. Try to imagine everything out there and right at the edge of God is burning with the possibility of creation. Fire. And basically in this, your interior is transparent still. Okay, let's become a little less manifest, go to air, and then come down to water. And then earth. And earth is solid energy, right? Let's undo that from earth to water, gently flowing, to air, weightless, to fire. Okay, fire, air, water, earth. Earth, water, air, fire. Fire, air, water, earth, earth, water, air, and fire. Thank you. And now we've been practicing also forms that make that visible. And then later we practice also the sounds. And then we have been working on our poem. So let's remember, we're going to go now through these four forms: the fire form, the air form, the water form, and the earth form. You probably remember all of them unless you happen to be new, but we'll start with the fire form. And perhaps I should just make it easier for you by turning my back to you. And so you can just imitate me. You start right here, right? And you're going to go to your right, up and back again, flickering like a flame. All right. I have fire energy all over me. I feel hot, vigorous, energetic, choleric, if you will. And I'm going to go to my right and then my left. Right, left, and back, right, left. And think of a blowtorch or whatever works for you, something sparking. Right, left, right, left. Again, feel your front space. Right, left, back, right, left. The fire becomes a little milder here. When you're in front, it's alive. Right, left, right, left. Good. Hope you've got that. And now air. Here we're going for this weightless form, remember? So we've got this clover leaf form. We will make for a big circle in front, one to the right, second one behind us, and one over here. And I hope you remember this. I'll take you through it. Again, we start to the right with a circle. Don't make it too big. And I hope you can figure out the stepping. I told you last time actually, I'd rather not micro explain that one this time, but to go forwards, we go around to the right and back to where we started. Continue with a circle to your right. Continue with the circle behind you. And now a circle to your left. Good. Now, I'm not doing the circles down here. That could be a watery or possibly even an earth circle. Before I begin it, I feel as if I could float away. Very light. I'm not looking up, but I'm feeling weightless. Actually, I probably weigh 10 pounds less when I do air, right? Little joke there, but I feel so lightly in my body. To the right, forwards, right. And the circle to the right here, and the circle behind me, and the circle here. Yes, and the movement is almost as much in my imagination as it is in my body. I see a perfect circle. I never lose what I see as I do it. Here we go. I see it on my right side in front of me. I see it here. I follow what I see. I see it here and I follow it. I see it here. And I see it here. One more time. And Eurythmy comes alive if we see it inwardly as we do it. Yeah. So again, I see myself in the light. I visualize a picture in front of me like a wind that blows a feather around me and blows the feather this way and blows the feather this way and this way. Thank you. And now I won't see a feather anymore. I'm going to see a wave splashing with this form here. This is the long version of this form. Up, down, 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 up, down, up, up, down. Okay. Yeah, up, down also means forwards, backwards. So forwards, backwards, backwards, forwards. You can be practicing it while I point it out here. There are a couple new people, so I want to be sure everyone can get it. Forwards, backwards. See it with your mind, where you're going as you go. And feel wave-like. So instead of seeing it in the air, we see it here. So get yourself watery. Responding to gravity a little bit, gently. I'll go forwards and backwards to my right. Forwards, backwards to the point. Backwards, forward to the middle. Backwards, forwards. Backwards, forward. Again. Off. And be very nice. Caress this point as caress the form as you go. For those of you who know the term, this is phlegmatic energy. You care about doing this so softly and beautifully. attention to detail. One more time. I love well the watery, the rushing one, right? The yearningly welling one from land to land. And we just slow ourselves down so deliciously to be in the water, very different from the air, right? And now fire or earth, remember with the earth, we create form with every line. So we're going to take the square, the diamond, 2 steps in each way, and then on a 3rd step, put your feet together. It's so strict, geometrically precise. To your right forward. 1, 2, stop. Let yourself be frozen into a crystal. To the left, 1, 2, and frozen. 1, 2, and frozen tight. 1, 2, frozen. Yes. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Thank you. Okay, let's keep building our process as we work towards creating the whole poem in a couple of minutes. All right. So let's stay with the earth for a minute and remember the 4 pairs of water or earth sounds: b, p, d, t, g, k, m, n. These are plosive sounds, meaning they have impact. They come to an end very differently from something like the fricative that goes. These sounds that quiver in the air, but the b, p, they come to an end and they're crystallized, just like the rocks outside. Here we go. Follow me. B, p. That was 3 P's, by the way. Let's try it again. I know the P is not so well known. That's 1 level of the P, 2nd, 3rd. Let me show you again. With the P, you pull space to yourself. Try again. From way out there, you pull yourself into a little form, then you release. It's finished. Pull yourself in, release, in, release. Huh. Huh. I squeeze myself. Okay, let's do B and P again. Huh. 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 Now D and T, press down. Duh. Huh. G and K. With the upper arms pushing. G. Don't unbend at the elbow, just keep it right here again. G, just that far. And then K. And M. We'll do this M. M. And N. N. All right. And then the air, the water sound, L, sometimes W. Let's go. L. And think of how we practice that wonderful water sound. To just really be attentive to the detail, viscous. Here we go again. L. And the process of growing and changing, but it looks like water whirlpools a little bit. L. Once more. L. Good. And then R. Weightless, that's the air sound. Think about this weightless quality, no gravity. and then think, and then the fire sound. The F is the dominant one. Pull back, and now we're going to shoot flames towards the computer screen and right out to me if you can. Just send it through your fingertips. And again. And again. All right. And you remember we spent many weeks doing F on this form and R on this form and L on this form and the earth sound on that form. Today, we don't need to go back and do that specifically. We'll come back in a little bit and do that for the poem. But I would like now to go to the culmination of the poem that we worked on, that we are working on, and pick up where we were last week. So, yes.
Before you do, would you please tilt the whiteboard or just scooch it in?
Oh, I see it.
For,
Yeah, I can see that it's not quite visible right now.
yeah, just for folks. Yep, right there.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
So let me speak the poem again for you. All the way through. Again, there are a couple of new people. So just to be sure we've all got the poem, and then we will go to these last two verses, and then we'll go all the way through the whole poem. But we started with the line of the fire, and it's the poem called Dedication. What I do with my energy when I die, like this. From the beginning, I love well the fiery, the flaming element, its flashes of lightning and flickering of stars. I love well the airy, so free and divine, where winds and the rain clouds and great eagles fly. I love well the watery, the rushing one, the yearningly welling one, from land to land. I love well the earthly, its holiest green, where it's wondrous to wander and lovely to rest. Now the poet takes another direction and says, one day I'll have to give all these up. I put this on a 5-pointed star because it's not an elemental line anymore. It's a human statement. I will at my dying give my being most gladly to these, my beloved, to the elements. And then we got ecstatic. Remember, this is what we'll work on today. My spirit to the fiery, my soul to the air, my heart to the watery, my body to earth. And that repeats. Spirit shall be blazing, soul be expanding, the waves of the heart shall be surging and singing. The body shall rest. And it's an absolutely exquisite form poem. All right, let me review this here. We did the F, first of all, my spirit to the fiery. Then we did an R, my soul to the air. Then we did an L, my heart to the watery. And then we did a B and a D, my body to earth. And then we repeated that whole cycle. But let's just try, first of all, doing those 4 sounds in first in standing, and then on this very simple form. And then we will build it up, and within 4 minutes, we'll be doing the whole thing. But let's do the F in standing. This is my spirit to the fiery. My soul to the air. Now my heart to the watery. My body to earth. Body. Buh. Duh. There you go. Again, notice this experience. We are part fire, we humans. We are air. We are water. We are earth. Again, we are fire in our ego being, our self-conscious self. We are air, the astral body. We are water, your life body. We are earth. Same thing again. This time I'll speak the verse. F, my spirit to the fiery. R, my soul to the air. Water. L, my heart to the watery. Earth, my body to earth. Continue. F, spirit shall be blazing. R, air, soul be expanding. L, the waves of the heart shall be surging and singing. Earth, the body shall rest. Once again, that sequence. Fire, my spirit to the fiery. Air, my soul to the air. Water, my heart to the watery. Earth, my body to earth. Again, spirit shall be blazing. Air, soul be expanding. The waves of the heart shall be surging and singing. Earth, the body shall rest. All right, next intermediary step. Let's do these sounds. First of all, without the poem, do the F on the fire sound, fire form. Immediately afterwards, the R, and then the L on this form, and the B and the D on this form. So we'll practice the form with the sound. We'll do the F first. Thinking spirit shall be blazing, but we won't do the poem yet. F forwards to your right and your left. And back again. Repeat twice. Backwards. Once more. Backwards. And now the R, one circle, not the whole clover leaf, one big air circle with the R. Weightlessly. And you don't have to run, you just move lightly. And now the L, and this is a very simplified L, just going one way forwards and backwards. L, watery. Now go back, just like it's shown on this form, the green. Again. And again. And then the B and the D, I start here and go back to there. Am I still on camera? Yes, I am. And we go sideways, and step back. And again, I'll do this one facing you, and you step back. And one more time. Thank you. I assume that no one needs further explanation on here. If you do, just put it in the chat really quickly, but I think I taught it carefully enough that you're right with me. And so now we'll do that sequence right through as I speak the poem. Ready? F. F, my spirit to the fiery. R, my soul to the air. L, my heart to the watery. My body to earth. Next verse. Hear it shall be blazing. The whole be expanding. The waves of the heart shall be surging and singing. The body shall rest. Michelle, let me know if anyone is urgently out there asking for help, but we'll do the same thing again. This time I'll face you. But as I did in prior weeks, I'll go backwards as you walk forwards. Okay, so I'm going backwards as you come forwards. My spirit to the fiery. Now comes the air circle. Come towards me. My soul to the air. Down here. My heart to the watery. And my body to earth. Come towards me. Spirit shall be blazing. R, whole be expanding. L, the waves of the heart shall be surging and singing. The body shall rest. Good. And now I'll move this off site and see if you can do that same thing without the screen. Should be in your etheric memory body by now. My spirit to the fiery. My soul to the air. My heart to the watery. My body to earth. Spirit shall be blazing. Soul be expanding. The waves of the heart shall be surging and singing. The body shall rest. And some of you will remember at the very end of the poem, I told you we can do this gesture. After we have put the body into the grave, we can do this Eurythmy gesture for Leo that corresponds to the sound D for the word body. And it's a sound, it feels like the bird that is resurrected from out of the grave. So I'm doing Leo, but I'm also feeling the bird. All right, we are ready for our culmination. Let's do 3 times the entire poem. That means we're going to do the fire form. We go forwards, backwards. We do the fire form twice for the first verse. And we do the whole air cloverleaf. Then we do that more complicated water form. And then we do the earth diamond. Then we do the star. And then we did what we just practiced 2 times. So the first time we do this, I'll bring the board back in here just for reference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, the end of our 5-week course. Let's make it beautiful. Begin with the F. I love well the fiery, the flaming element, its flashes of lightning and flickering of stars. I love well the airy, so free and divine, where winds and the rain clouds and great eagles fly. I love well the watery, the rushing one, the yearningly welling one from land to land. I love well the earthly. Do B and D on each line. Its holiest green, where it's wondrous to wander and lovely to rest. And now the star, I'll turn for this one for you. I will at my dying give my, here's the B, give my being most, there's your G, gladly. Here's an E, to these. And an L, my beloved. And a T, to the elements. Okay, and I'll turn again for you for these last 2 verses. My spirit to the fiery, my soul to the air, my heart to the watery, my body to earth. Again, spirit shall be blazing, soul be expanding, the waves of the heart shall be surging and singing. The body shall rest. Good. I'd like to do that 2 more times. And in Eurythmy, Our practice is first to learn something in depth and then to do it again and again and again. In doing that, well, some people might say it's like in basketball, you just improve your skills. But in Eurythmy, we're really inscribing it deliberately into the etheric. Till later, you don't need to think about it. These forces begin to live as life-giving, health-sustaining forces in your etheric body, carrying the archetypes of the whole universe with you as you walk the path of life. All right, from the beginning, practicing inscribing. I love well the fiery, the flaming element, its flashes of lightning and flickering of stars. I love well the airy, so free and divine, where winds and the rain clouds and great eagles fly. I love well the watery, the rushing one, the yearningly welling one, from land to land. I love well the earthly, its holiest green, where it's wondrous to wander and lovely to rest. I will, you put your right arm up, I'll put my left up. I will, at my dying, give my being most gladly. You put your right hand up to these, my beloved, to the elements, my spirit to the fiery, my soul to the air, my heart to the watery, my body to earth. Spirit shall be blazing, soul be expanding. The waves of the heart shall be surging and singing. The body shall rest. Direction. One last time. I love well the fiery, the flaming element, its flashes of lightning and flickering of stars. I love well the airy, so free and divine, where winds and the rain clouds and great eagles fly. I love well the watery, the rushing one, the yearningly welling one, from land to land. I love well the earthly, its holiest green, where it's wondrous to wander and lovely to rest. I will, at my dying, give my being most gladly to these, my beloved, to the elements, my spirit to the fiery, my soul to the air, my heart to the watery, my body to earth. The spirit shall be blazing, soul be expanding. The waves of the heart shall be surging and singing. The body shall rest. Now take a moment to become inwardly quiet after all that activity. Thank you. Now, before we close, I'd like you to have the pleasure of watching me take this piece a bit deeper. So take a seat, go to your computers, and I'd like to explain to you that this was a modified version of the poem, which was as far as I felt I could take you on an online course and the limited parameters that we have. And so we did all of the element sounds for the different verses. But when I do this as a performance piece, and I love to do this one, it's one of my favorite, I do what we as eurythmists do. I actually do all the sounds of the poem. So I don't confine myself to just the F on the fire. I do all the sounds. I love well the fiery, flaming element, and so on. And so it looks a lot more complicated, S and T and F and so on. So I'd like to show you how it looks if I do the whole thing. While I do it, I will also speak it, but that takes an enormous amount of energy for me to speak and do it at the same time. So I will kind of underplay both the speaking and the doing, but take a look and see, where Eurythmy can go to if it's not a practice as I gave to you, but if it's a full art form. Right, here we go. I love well the fiery, the flaming element, its flashes of lightning and flickering of stars. I love well the airy, so free and divine, where winds and the rain clouds and great eagles fly. I love well the watery, the rushing one, the yearningly welling one, from land to land. I love well the earthly, its holiest green, where it's wondrous to wander and lovely to rest. I will at my dying give my being most gladly to these, my beloved, to the elements, my spirit to the fiery, my soul to the air, my heart to the watery, my body to earth. spirit shall be blazing, whole be expanding. The waves of the heart shall be surging and singing. The body shall rest. All right. Thank you for receiving that. And with that, we're going to bring this module to a close. Before we take questions, I'd like to, first of all, once again, as always, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for attending, and also very especially heartfelt thanks for making it possible for me to do this work and for it to go out around the world as it is. Thank you for participating in the energy exchange by giving your donations. Really, it's not possible without you. And I'm taking a break in this coming week, and from both the webinars and the lectures. And I will start with the next webinar series on October 30th. And I'll send out the invitation and the registration link for that soon, not today, but soon. And we're going to take 4 weeks, every Tuesday going up to December 21st, on a theme of Advent. We're going to choose this, a journey through Advent, the gift of grace. And we're going to take some of our most beautiful and precious exercises, like the angel wings, reverence, soul exercises. And the theme through it all will be to look at the Annunciation paintings and the gesture of Annunciation when the angel says to the Virgin, "You shall bear a child." And we're going to take that as a metaphor for the gift of grace that comes to all of us as we bear the spirit child, as we make room for the grace of spirit birth that comes to every human being in our time. And it's especially in midwinter when we grow near to that. So that's the journey that's coming up. Watch for the announcements in your inbox. If there's anyone watching this on some other media who's not on my mailing list, be sure to sign up for it. Good. And with that, I'd like to open up to questions if there are any.
Indeed, there are a few.
Could it be?
Yes. Well, interestingly enough, yes, I felt speechless and okay. So our Veronica, well, let me just pause. Thank you. There's huge gratitude coming in. Yes, thank you. Okay, a few questions. Veronica asked if we may see the princely dog. Remember the princely dog? The big princely dog and yes, guarding.
Yeah, is trained to greet the kingly, to greet the king, greet his kingly master nicely.
Yes.
All right, Veronica. It's that sound series I did. BP, DT, GK, MN. So we already practiced that series, and I'll do it on the square right away for you. I will go, okay, I'll reverse it. I'll start to my left backwards, which is your right forwards. Big, princely dogs are trained to greet their kingly master nicely. And that's the diamond form that we worked on today several times. Yeah.
Yes.
Wait a minute. She says, your dog, not the Eurythmy, my dog. Okay,
Oh,
I guess
dear
that was a
me.
very sweet thing. My dog is no longer on this world, but I had the most princely dog of all, Veronica. So sweet of you.
Oh, yes, dear
Very dear.
Kalua. It would greet everyone.
My dog was a self-trained therapy dog for all the dear students at Rudolf Steiner College. She,
Oh,
she
yes.
consoled so many hearts.
Yes, and we needed her.
Yeah. I don't understand the world anymore. Give me that dog.
Yes, yes, she healed us in her own way.
Yes.
Joanne asked, November 30th?
Yes.
You had said October 30th, but yes, November 30th.
November 30th would be really much better. I'm not good at going backwards yet. Thank you.
Let's just not.
Yeah, no, we won't do that.
Okay, now Carolyn asked, is this poem giving us the teaching that there is, according to Steiner, no abiding self inhabiting the body, that what we are experiencing as self is not necessarily what we identify ourselves with physically?
So this is actually where I really want this poem to take us to. It's not a simple one-dimensional answer to your question. It's at least a four-dimensional answer. The abiding self is our fire. It's our spirit. And our spirit, when we're not alive, is living in another dimension, but it's not having these kinds of experiences. It's not mature. Unless we are an initiate, our spirit is not self-aware in those realms. We can get along with the help of our angels and so on in a dreamlike consciousness, but we're not much good to the spiritual world yet. We have a long way to go. And to get there, we're learning to, very important, individuate through our lives as apparently independent people. So your spirit is your fire flame inside you. It's the fire element. And your sheathes that you are wearing are your astral body, your air, your water body, and your physical body. And when we are alive on the earth as humans, these are so important. There are God-given gifts to enable us to individuate. Thus, so important that we love it, that we acknowledge it, we keep ourselves healthy on all these levels, astral, etheric, physical. Stay healthy, love it, be grounded, do the work. And then this poem is saying, when we die, we give them away to where they came from. We give away the astral body. We give away the etheric body. We lay the physical body in the tomb, and the spirit self, the individuating self, is taken into the arms of the angels and given as many experiences as we are capable of being conscious of. And the other things that happen to us in those realms that we're not capable of are things that are preparing us for our next lives. But our journey is to evolve to the point where we have initiate consciousness and can do that journey ourselves. And then we're of some use, because then we can be co-creators and not just passive recipients of God's grace. Big question, Carolyn. There you go.
Yes, that, and I answered the other little question because that summed it all up. Beautiful. You will enjoy reading the comments and the gratitude, and thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you, Michelle. We all know that you are our steadfast helper Thank you so much for that.
You are
And I
welcome.
look forward, please share the words with your friends, put it out in your networks, bring people along for this Christmas journey, if you will. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you in the United States, and let's make a better world. Pay attention to what's essential. Let's tell God all that you're grateful for. Thank you. Bye for today.